Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today in the Dungeon Dive, we are going to do an unboxing and taking a look at the second edition of Dead Throne, the World of Veles. So there was a first edition of this game that came out a couple years ago, and it had some really elaborate system for automating a marketplace or something. I don't know. It was all very confusing. Some kind of almost mechanical market that would fit in the box and things would move automatically. I don't know. I never really saw it in action. I was interested in the game, but I thought that gimmick just didn't really add anything. So I didn't back it. This is a big kind of open world, sandboxy, overland adventure game. And I have been interested in it, especially since this second edition hit Kickstarter. And it does not have that kind of mechanical gimmick thing going on, that automated market system. So the only thing I've done is I did take off the shrink wrapping because it was torn a little bit. But we'll take a look at the base box here. I was a backer and this just arrived today. I'm really excited, and we'll also take a look at the scenario pack that I got here. So you don't really learn much about the game from the back of the box except for what you get. There's no kind of like story or background or anything. No fluff text, no flavor text here. But we have 380 cards with mythical creatures, lonesome bandits, merchants, quests, weapons, shields, and all of our loot and everything. 150 different magical scrolls. So these magical scrolls will be decisive, the decisive element you bring on your travels, with the ability to enhance your capabilities, summon creatures, shield yourself in battle, and so on. 180 different tokens, 6 medallion pieces with 6 region stones, the market insert tray. What do we have here? 7 custom dice and 25 card stands, 2 double-sided player boards, 10 double-sided large hexagon tiles, and then the rulebook. I really like how they describe the rulebook. It's interesting. Hopefully it delivers upon this little paragraph here. But this says, this beautiful rulebook is where you will begin your adventure. Filled with unique artwork, it is designed to truly immerse yourself into Leonor with a natural flow, easy language, logical mechanics, and an easy-to-navigate contents page. You will be playing like a pro in no time. Okay, let's see what all is in here. It's a pretty good sized box, not super heavy, but heavy enough. Feels like there's going to be some cool stuff in here. Okay, so here we have our rule book. And we have all of our punch boards here. And I did see that the stuff from the scenario pack does actually all fit in this box. So that should be nice because everything from this box will fit in the other box and we don't have to keep 2 boxes. So yeah, there is quite a bit of empty space in here actually. And I would imagine that the expansion stuff does fit quite easily. Okay, so let's take a look at the rulebook first here, since they did call the rulebook out. Let me move this box here. Okay, so here's the Dead Throne rulebook. Here we go. Here's our big piece of lore here, the World of Veles. Dead Throne, the World of Veles. In an ancient time, long before history, there was nothing but darkness. Before that, there were 2 landmasses drifting in the vast ocean. Barren and void of life, they drifted alone. For thousands of years, these 2 landmasses never came close, until, that is, they did. The 2 landmasses crashed into each other, mountains soared into the sky, deep caverns of crystals formed in their depths, and Veles was born. Now that's kind of interesting. I like that. 2 clashing landmasses that form this kind of fantasy land, this jagged area where the 2 landmasses meet. Okay, so here we have our table of contents. Introduction, box setup, tells you how to set up the box. That's nice. Core mechanics, moving, interacting, battle, items, scrolls, traps, lone quests, others. And then we have our scenarios. So this game can be played solo and cooperatively or competitive. And it looks like we have our various scenarios here for those various forms of play, those various modes. We have Lorena's Salvation competitive mode. the Rogue Regions competitive mode, Hero of Leonor solo mode. We have a Defender, which is a co-op or solo. Modifications, the 4+ rule and dead zones. Acknowledgements, special thank you, key points index, an alphabetical list of key mechanisms, and terms and symbols. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, so we have everything that we get in the box here. All of our cards, how we will set up our box, our introduction. Welcome to the world of Veles. Welcome to Dead Throne. Dead Throne is an open world adventure game set in the southern kingdom of Leonor. This rulebook comes with 4 core modules to choose from. Leonor's Salvation, competitive. So those are the modules. Leonor's Salvation, that's a competitive mode. The Rogue Regions, competitive. The Hero of Leonor, solo. And the Defender, co-op or solo. Okay, very cool. Interesting. We have our different characters there. Our health board setup, gameplay area, health board rules, core mechanics, moving, quick paths in between regions, interacting, loot structures, different towns. We have our inn, a market, a tavern, our carriage man, interacting with players. When we go into battle here, how to handle combat, our different kinds of items, other combat elements, breaking items, combos, enchanting items, our various scrolls, how to obtain them and how to use them in battle. And traps, setting a trap. That's kind of cool. Looks like you can trap other players or something like that. Lone quests. Unlike tavern quests, lone quests can be found on your travels when you find people around the land who are in distress. Okay, so there sounds like there's going to be side quests out there. And here we have Leonor's Salvation, our competitive mode. This mode is the core competitive mode of the game. It follows the main story within the world of Veles and is played with 2 to 7 players. Wow, 2 to 7. Okay, Rogue Regions. This mode is a core competitive mode that sets the heroes against each other to reclaim the powers of the throne. Our Hero of Leonor, so this is the solo mode. And then our Defender mode. Maybe it's kind of a tower defense mode or something. All right, here we go. All of our Kickstarter thank yous. Key points index. Hey, that's really nice in alphabetical order, and it just kind of walks you through the rules, kind of like those FFG rule summary books. Hopefully that comes in handy. Hopefully they remember to include everything that you would need to look up while you are playing the game. So we do get our box, and our box will contain, I think this will contain a lot of the stuff from the expansion. Here we have our punch boards. So it looks like we have our money here, our different money values, 1s, 5s, and 10s. We have more money, 1s, 5s, and 10s, and it looks like maybe some health potions or some health markers there. Some empty tokens there, and only 1 more punch board. So hey, not a lot of chits. I do like that. Here we have our standees. I think you could get a expansion that came with minis for the heroes, but I don't think I got them. I think I just have the standees, which I am more than happy with. I think those standees look really cool. They are very big. I like that. They're hefty. That's pretty cool. Nice looking standees there. Put those in there. Look like this is our amulet or something. These are probably things that we will have to collect, then assemble into something to win the game or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but that looks pretty cool there. And then we have our 2 character boards. This is for keeping track of various things such as our player health and whatnot. And it looks like our experience and something else there. All right. So that is all of the punch boards. I'm really happy there aren't a ton of punch boards. Okay, so this looks like our market. That's pretty flimsy. It's already kind of breaking there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about this market thing here. I might just end up using one of my card holders. This thing doesn't feel like it's going to last very long. You guys can actually feel it kind of clinking, and yeah, it's already ripped. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. You do get a whole bunch of tuck boxes for all of your various decks of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different tuck boxes for cards. Here we have a deck of cards here. So these are our heroes. These are the characters. Celadar, Alana, Aaron, Phalewin, Eravith, Taniel, Rillick. And it looks like we have some cards there for some player aid cards. So here we have a little bit of a description for each of the characters. Let's read about Aaron here. One of the best blacksmiths of Erwin. His work is said to produce weapons and shields as strong as stone. He has skills. Any weapon and shield that he has equipped is unbreakable by any means. And he has some starting equipment. Scrolls. He starts with offensive, defensive, and defensive. So maybe that's 1 offensive scroll and 2 defensive scrolls. He starts with light gauntlets and 1 enchanted hammer. And then here, it would have been nice if maybe we had the name of our character also up here in the banner, just so we can remember the name of our character. All in all, it does kind of have that old school kind of amateurish look that we don't really see a lot in games anymore. But really curious about the gameplay here. It seems somewhat unique and different. It does feel like one of those kind of anachronistic games that has kind of fallen out of a time warp with no bearing on what the other games in this space have been doing over the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years or something. I'm going to take the rest of this stuff out of this box and we'll take a look at it just on the table here. Yeah, I kind of get that same vibe as something like Return of the Heroes or Under the Shadows of the Dragon with this game. So that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at the big, large hex tiles first, man. These things are really big. And yeah, it's kind of hard to tell where spaces are. So not sure about that there, but that should be kind of interesting. We have the wood mist and the wood mist. Here we have Roken. That's cool. A little settlement there in a kind of a stone settlement. Another version of Roken there. We have the Stone Sea, kind of a wizard's tower there. And another version of the Stone Sea. So I don't know if there's differences in the art or if it's just in the tiles or if it is just art. We have Old Hedge there. And kind of Old Hedge and in a dead world Old Hedge and kind of in a more alive world, a greener world of Old Hedge. Here we have the Pale Cliffs. That area looks cool. Look at that like dark purple crystal castle there. And here we have another version of the Pale Cliffs. We have Greylock and another version of Greylock. Here we have the Ale Pond, guy fishing there. That's kind of cool. Really interesting. Yeah, this game just has a unique look. It has a different kind of vibe. I really do get this kind of amateurish sense from this game. And I'm just hoping it plays well. I'm hoping it plays well and does some interesting things and really does give me that sense of an open world adventure. And then here we have our cards. Here, quite a bit of cardboard. We do have some tokens here, wooden. All of the tokens are wooden, so we have some wooden dice. Looks like a general, not a D6 there. What is that? Or it's a D6 shape, but it seems to be a little unique here. 5 and 6, 11, 3 and 4, 7, 4 and 2, 6. Huh. No 1. Interesting. Not quite sure what these dice will be used for, but that's interesting display of numbers there. We have some word numbers, or some word dice, I should say. Those are plastic. These are wood. We have some little gems here and a few other little wooden cubes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those match there. So these must be used to keep track of some player things there. And then here we have our cards here. I bet you these are the scrolls, as it looks like a library of scrolls there. Let's take a look at that. The cards do feel nice. Looks like feels like nice quality. So these are some of the scrolls. And let's see, is this deck here all scrolls? It doesn't look like it. So more scrolls. And then here we have some other things. So let's take a look at these here. So these are the scrolls here. Once, you can use once, increase the defense, open up the skies, send an enemy or standing enemy that you're battling up to 5 steps in any direction. Return a not yet replaced discarded scroll to your hand. That looks like some interesting card play. So your scrolls are probably going to be a hand of cards that you can use to do all kinds of different things. Once per game round, cause a lightning strike, setting ablaze a step next to you for 1 game round, preventing all players and standing enemy from passing over it. Leave this scroll on that step and discard it after use. Huh. So it sounds like it might have some different kind of card play than maybe we are used to in these kinds of games. Once. Battle round, increase your defense. Battle round. So yeah, quite a few different scrolls there, quite a few different powers and things to play. Sounds like maybe you'll be able to make some pretty cool combinations with some of those powers. All right, let's see, what are these here? These are trap cards. So we have some trap cards, 33 different trap cards. Interesting. Kind of like the look of those. I like the colors, they're bright colors. Here we have a guard's ring, a steel shield, a bow and arrow, heavy axe, an axe of Thayan, a sword king, a shield king, the axe Ethelder, the steel shield, the sword of Lotharen. Find and kill a level 8 or above creature in order to make our land safer. Reward on the back. Oh, cool. So these are kind of like quests. And we can go on these quests and then we can get that item as a reward. That is super cool. I like that a lot. And these look like quests as well. Let's see here. Let's see what those are. Those little tavern cards. Okay, yeah. So the cards with the tavern back, those must be something like tavern quests there. So we have those, and then it looks like we have a few more here in this deck. It says there should be about 27 of these. I'm trying to copy Taniel's famous Madigo tail soup. I think it has a troll toe in it too. Bring one to me. I'll be sitting on the logs in Roken. Huh, interesting. All right, so then that's what you get for a reward, 25 coins or something, or a scroll, something like that, okay? So lots of different quests there. And then we have, let's see, 2 more. These are, you find a lever, pull it if you want to, and roll 1 die. Interesting. If you pull the lever, you might find some body armor, or you might find a ring of Gwildolith. And then let's see, what are those with those dungeons on there? Let's see, those are loot from buildings. And those will include 46 cards, 10 enemies, 23 items, and 13 other. Okay, so when we go into buildings, this is the kind of loot that we can find. Bronze boots, a goblin warrior, so not all loot is safe, a hammer. A child is being attacked by a slough. Oh, whoa, we have some like different choices we can make. Really interesting. An historian is exploring but is being attacked. Some kind of net there, a red camp. Travelers aren't the only ones attracted to these dark and abandoned holes of Leonor. Draw a region card from the region you are in. So some kind of enemy might attack you there. A shovel. Silk rope. Wow, really interesting. It looks like there's quite a few cool little things to discover in this game. I'm kind of getting excited about this. Let's see here. More, what is this? Cyclops, body armor, a surtur with some body armor. Yeah, I'm not sure what these double-sided cards are. Those are interesting. I wonder what those are. Let's see here. double-sided cards here. Hmm. Not sure. Hopefully we can figure that out. Looks like these are rock regions. There are 42 with 24 enemies, 13 items, and 5 other. So very similar to our cards here. A guy skiing down the mountain on his giant feet. I like that. That's really cool. Cyclops, a dark mage, a goblin warlord. Man, look at those. That looks really cool. Very cartoony, but I like the style. It's bold. It's got a very unique look to it, I could say. All right, a few more of those weird double-sided cards that I'm going to need to figure out what to do with. It does have an icon that matches one of the other decks of cards, so maybe those just get folded in, or not folded in, shuffled into their decks. Maybe you draw from the bottom or something. So here we have our woods regions. Again, there are 51 cards, 23 enemies, 17 items, and 11 other. All right, so there's all of those. A big bear, bow and arrows, a centaur, some food, a goblin warrior, a joculus. That guy looks great. A leshy, a lone goblin. You find a fellow traveler, and then you get to make all of these decisions, all of these little choices you get to make on these quest cards. That is super cool. I like that a lot. A minotaur. All right. And then here we have probably our docks region. Yep, this is for our docks here. And so, yeah, so that icon down there does match the icon on the docks, but I'm not sure how you handle these double-sided cards. You must deal from the bottom. Here we have all of our dock stuff. We have bandits. We've got bow and arrows, some bronze boots, a bronze dagger, a crocodile, a catfish can attack you, a water mage, some poison, a merchant, a Voldenik, more of those story choice quest cards, a water snake, a whirlfang, and an ice wraith. Very, very cool. And then we have this deck of cards here. And here we have our field region. So there are 45 of those. Let's see, the docks, there were 50, 22 enemies, 16 items, and 12 other. Then our field region, there's 45 with 23 enemies, 14 items, and 8 other. Here's more field cards here. So when you're in the fields, you'll draw from this deck. There's a boar, a field goblin, some more food, a goblin pack, the heavy bandit, an imp, a light gauntlets, more of those quests there, a Madigo. All right, so that's the kinds of things, a really big kind of open world there. And then here we have our market deck. And the market deck has 88 different cards in it. So these are all the different things that we can buy. Different types of armor, different types of weapons, and gold rings and rope, and a rucksack, shields, shovels, spears, and more swords and torches. So that's all of the stuff that we can buy. And then each one of these, I believe, does come with its own deck to hold it. So that's super cool. I like that a lot. All in all, that's about everything that you get in the box. It's a pretty big box. It seems kind of like maybe the box could have been smaller, but I know that they were planning to have everything from the scenario pack fit in there. So we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, and then we'll open the scenario pack and see what is inside that box. Okay, so here is our expansion that came with the Kickstarter. I didn't back everything, so I didn't get the minis, and that's quite all right. I love those standees. But this is the Dead Throne scenario pack. Obviously, they were not thinking that people would keep the box because there's no graphics or anything on the other side. Again, I did see in the official unboxing that everything in here does fit into the core box, and I'm very, very happy for that. Oh, interesting. So it looks like we do have some tiny little hexes that will represent the larger hexes. Maybe this is for mixing and matching different types of land layouts. Okay, so it looks like we get a small hex for each one of our hexes. Let's try to find, let me find Arrowtown here. Where is Arrowtown? Arrowtown. All right, so we have Arrowtown. We have that side there, and then on the flip side, we have a slightly different Arrowtown. So yeah, so very curious about how the double-sided tiles work. We have our scenario pack rulebook. So let's see here. We have the Civil War is competitive, Destruction of Laranor competitive, Warrior's Wrath competitive, the Horde of the Dead competitive and solo, Explorers competitive, Riches competitive, Soul Gem competitive, Monster Envy competitive, Town Champions competitive, Team competitive, Salador's Kingdoms solo and co-op. That's a little disappointing that most, like 80% of these scenarios are competitive, but I imagine I will be playing most of those two-handed solo and just seeing who can win. I don't mind playing like that, but it would have been nice to have seen more of these scenarios have a co-op or solo. Region tracker, new character board, enemy health. We have our tiles there. We have 3 new double-sided tiles. So we have the Turtle Islands. Oh, that's a nice tile. Really, really cool there. And then we have here, we have our High Watchtower and the Timber Rock. And we have our Dragon Tail and our Ghost Bridge. Okay, mini tiles here. Each of the 13 mini tiles is a mini version of the larger ones. All the mini tiles will be kept inside a cloth bag. This to ensure that they can be selected at random. Okay, so maybe there is some random exploration between the tiles. We have some new mini objectives, player flags, building scenarios. To build a scenario, you will need, all you need is your imagination, but here and on our website, you will find some general solo and co-op rules to reference as well. Interesting. So it tells you how to create your own scenarios. That is pretty cool here. And then we get into the rules for our various scenarios. Civil War, Destruction of Laranor, the Warrior's Wrath, the Horde of the Dead, the Explorers of Laranor, the Riches of the Realm, the Soul Gem, Region Rush, Monster Envy, Town Champion, Salador's Kingdom, and it looks like that's about it. Okay. We do get quite a few different little player boards here, and I think these are mostly used in different scenarios, and you will keep track of various things on these boards. Lots of, wow. I have not had a game with this many wooden cubes in quite some time. That is interesting. All right, so there's all of your little mini boards and things that you'll keep track of the various things from the various different scenarios. We do get a few little cards here, a few cards here. We do get a few more tuck boxes. And there's our cloth bag. And yeah, lots of empty space in these boxes. So let's see what these are. These are the player flag cards. So it looks like these will probably be used to keep track of certain things on the board as the various players accomplish different goals. It is a little bummed out that the expansion doesn't come with any new like loot or quests or adventure type stuff. And then these are the, what are these called? The mini objectives. So these are like little mini side quests that you have to do. Go to the step before the castle and place an offering of 100 coins. Do any amount of damage to another player to infect them. Infect at least 3 other players. Take 4 quick paths within 3 turns. Looks like these might be ways to generate little kind of victory points for some of the competitive modes. It does feel like the focus was on the competitive or team competitive modes. And that's a little bit of a bummer, especially coming from the Dungeon Dive, where we like to see, or at least a lot of us like to see, the focus be more on co-op and more on solo play. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe the solo mode offers up a lot of different replayability options and things like that. But yeah, that's about everything. I'm going to put everything back in the core box and just kind of see how it looks. Yep, so here is the box within the box, and this will keep all of your expansion, all of your scenario pack stuff in there. So we can put all of our little hexes in the cloth sack here. Tons of wooden cubes could go in that box there. Here's our tuck box for the player flags. And our tuck box for the mini objectives. And then these little tokens, I'm not sure what they are for, but they are from the expansion. So we'll go ahead and throw those in that box. So here is our main box with our main kind of large insert there. Then we do have all of our large hex tiles. All right, we can dump our dice in here in one of those wells there. We can dump our wooden tokens in these other wells. I think I'm doing this right. Who knows? And then I guess we'll have to put this stuff in here with the cards and all of the chits. I need to punch everything out and make sure everything is in its right place. I think all of the money goes in these wells here. But I did see on the official unboxing that everything does fit nicely back within this box here. And it should take up all of that extra empty space that was in here. I do wish that this insert here was just much more sturdy. That thing feels like it's going to break very, very quickly. But anyhow, that was an unboxing of Dead Thrones, the 2nd edition. So I'm very curious about this game. I could see it very easily going either way, either being really cool or just kind of falling flat. I'm hoping that it's really cool because I do like the look of it. And I do like that kind of open world sandboxy nature that it seems to support. So, all right, you guys, we'll hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.